So I know you've already touched on it, but like, yeah, 2023 was the last time we sat here and like I've still listened to you. Like Halo is still on repeat. It is just so
Yeah.
good. Like anytime I hear your voice come across that, I'm just like, ah. And like you said, you were taking that little bit of a break. So then when I heard Make Stacy Great Again come across my feed, I was just like, there's that voice again. There we go. So for you, like besides like Make Stacey Great Again, which we'll talk about, but what has been going on?
Oh, mate, it's been a whole journey of just discovering just who I am, the stories I want to tell, and how I want to do it. And yeah, it took a long while to get there. And I appreciate you for still listening to Halo and all the other old songs. Like, they're still my babies. Like, they're still important songs to me. It was a very cool snapshot of my life at that time, and I feel like I did a good job of capturing that and packaging that up into like into an album. I think that's pretty cool to look back and like yeah, 2023 feels like ages ago, but I can listen to any one of them songs and it puts me right back into that time. And I feel like that's what I'm doing for these songs that I've written. They very much just feel of 2025 and like now and everything. And it's just, yeah, man, it's just been a massive growth. And like we said, just that time off was important. Just that time, just lots of epiphanies and just sitting around and just daydreaming and thinking and theorizing. And you just come up with wild ideas that I don't know. I think with the Prius Diaries, what it really taught me was that my silliness can be valued, and like the crazy ideas I have, I don't know, can kind of have some weight. Like just some of the songs, like especially like Screwjob, where I'm just talking about like wrestling metaphors and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't. I don't expect anyone to be into it. It's just me having a fun time and being stupid, and I just you put it out and
Mhm.
you see who likes it, and mate, just the people that have responded to it and connected to it, that was amazing. And so the break was really just me respecting those people, because I think as an artist you're kind of conditioned to always chase the bigger thing. Like, all right, cool, so we got a million streams on the last one. Now I'm looking at it and being like, I was literally just sitting there doing the maths in my head, and I was like, okay, this is the amount of effort it took to get a million streams. I don't. That's. I'd mate. I don't even. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't check
Mhm.
all this shit like regularly. So I think I don't know how many streams Prius Diaries is on, but last time when it was like a million, we were like, yeah, cool, celebrate. And then after that, I was like, yeah, whatever. But I was like, okay, this is the amount of effort it took to get to a million streams, and the amount of money like my label was putting in, and all the content I was doing. So now they're like, okay, 2 million streams on next one, 5 million. I was like, I don't know what
No.
to do. But really, what I should have been looking at was what did I do to get them people that listened to the first one, like they're still there, they're still vibing it. Like even you were saying it, like you're
Mhm.
still listening to it. So how do I
Yeah.
keep you interested? And it's just being me. I just need to do more
Mhm.
of me. I just need to figure out what that is, what people are enjoying about it, but more importantly, what I was enjoying about it. And I think it was just that freedom of, yeah, just like putting stuff out that I've written in my room. I think it's weird and cool and different. And I put it out, and people were like, yeah, yeah, we fuck with it. So I was like, wait, so I can just keep doing that
Yeah.
and you're gonna still listen to it. So I was like, sweet. So yeah, it's just me just being as me as possible and as weird as possible. And and you know, the state of the world will look around us, and things aren't how they used to be, man. And we're in a very it's a very nostalgic genre, and a very sentimental kind of music scene. And this whole emo revival, it's sick and I love it and everyone's bringing the vibes back. But there was just a lot that I don't think we touched on, and I think we messed up the first time around, and
Mhm.
we let a lot slide.
Oh,
Never should have been allowed. And again, it's cool. We're bringing back like the fashion and like even all like the rappers and the pop stars are like acknowledging like their emo roots and stuff. And it's sick, but let's just not make the same mistakes again. Because, like, I say
yeah.
this on every podcast I come on. I'm not going to get political too early, but it's the whole. When you look at like 2001 and everything that happened, and we were like, cool. We had like new metal and
Hmm.
like emo was coming about and stuff. There was also like the Iraq War and all that kind of stuff and
Yeah.
whatever. And so we looped it back and we were like, yeah, new metal's come back and like the fashion's back and like emo's back. We didn't need to do the war bit as well, but that's come with it. And it's just like, dude, it is on like exact everything that they were doing then. We're just looping it back now. And the politicians are doing what they're doing and we're trying to change that at the same time, but we don't need to copy and paste the music. We that's in our power. We have the power to reshape that and make that what we want. So that was my epiphany, and that's kind of been my reason for the music I've been writing and that I want to release. Is that I'm looking at punk and just alternative music in general, and I'm like, what are we doing? like,
Mm-hmm.
like where did it go so left when we used to be just like, like not necessarily just the anger, but just it was just all about making noise, causing trouble,
Hmm.
like like standing up to the government, man, and just like if you're not happy with the way things are, pick up an instrument and make some noise and shout at people and do something. I don't want to hear another song about your ex-girlfriend and
No.
that fun time you had in high school. Like I'm so bored of it and I've been bored of it for so long.
Hmm.
And it was just that whole I just had to realize like how big I was and like how powerful I was in that sense of like I'm sitting there listening to all my favorite artists just singing about nonsense, and you're like, oh man, like I wish music would change. I wish we could do this. It would be cool if bands did that again and stuff. And I was like, wait, I am music. I do
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I was like, why don't I do it? So yeah, man, it's just been that whole journey of I think just realizing the power that you have as an artist, and it's not been a whole genre flip like 180 kind of thing. It's like, bro, it's the same like pop punk bangers. We're still bouncing, we're still having a good time. There's still a few gnarly breakdowns and stuff and whatever. But I'm just, yeah, I mean, look, I've never been one to do the whole like high school, like kind
Yeah.
of
Oh,
that's not
thank
me,
God.
but like,
Yeah. I'm on
but
your
still
level with
like,
that.
but we love the way it sounds,
Yeah.
and all of them kind of songs are in our playlist, and so it always felt like, okay, well that's the standard. Like if I'm not doing that, then I have to be okay with like being here and being in this weird niche where people want to hear songs about being in your mid 30s and like all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, but I don't know. We're at that point now where people are like, I'm bored as well, bro. And I think that's
Mhm.
why Make Stacy Great Again has connected so well with people, because look, I'm getting so many
I
DMs
was gonna
of,
ask.
yeah, we're calling them Stacy's now. Like it's the upgraded Karen,
Love it.
and now it's the, I think a lot of women, a lot of people around the world can somewhat relate to a partner that they've gone into it being like, oh yeah, this person's hot, this person's, whatever, and then you're like, oh, you're a demon. Like this was a mistake. You bamboozled me. Like I need
Yeah.
to leave this relationship right now. Um, yeah, I'm getting a lot of like fun DMs from them just being like, I have never related to a song so hard in my life. I actually just got one this morning off a new fan. I believe they're in where is it, Utah. Um, a lot of Utah people, a lot of I'm getting a lot of American flags and a lot of like
Okay, yeah.
that kind of, yeah, come across my timeline, but it's the ones that have left and now
Hmm.
they're they're rediscovering themselves kind of thing. And I just think having something like that is so cool and just so unique. And it's like there are lots of very cool bands right now that are doing way better than me and whatever better is and more successful, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. But I listen to their songs and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, do you remember when there was that phase of like just nautical references in every emo song, like crashing beneath the waves and all this kind of,
Hmm.
like every band was like oceans beneath the sea or
Yes.
some, I don't know. It was just
Yes.
like what were we talking about? Like what was it? It was just talk about the sea and the elements and stuff, and then you'll be it. Like you'll be the
Yeah.
top band. And look, I loved a lot of that. Like
Same. Yeah.
a lot of that was just like Under Oath and every UK band that just copied them. There was a band I used to love called Oceans Upon Us, and then there was Oceans 8 Alaska,
Hmm.
and I worked with a band called All at Sea. And just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm going on a tangent, but it was just like we just had such a long period of where I think rock was what's the word? Whitewashed,
Hmm.
desensitized, watered down. Watered down.
Yeah. Right.
Where
Yeah.
it was just okay to not really talk about anything. Where for the longest time, rock music, punk, alternative, metal, it was
Hmm.
just all about like making a difference, doing something, or just doing something that was different. Like we have to remember when these people came out back in them days, they hadn't even heard of the distorted guitar before. They'd
Hmm.
never heard a blast beat or something, and it's like, okay, we've done that now. How are we going to elevate it? How are we going to progress it? And yeah, I'm not the most technical musician in the world. I ain't going to show you any new chords anytime soon you haven't heard. Um, and also, I just love the sound of emo and pop punk and that kind of like world of sounds within it. So I love all of that. But I can't do that. I can't write another song about some random girl when like we're dropping bombs everywhere and
Yeah.
people can't afford shit. Like it's
Oh,
nuts. They
it.
got me. They got me. I always said like I'm not a political artist. Like I've always
Hmm.
loved like quote unquote political bands like Rise Against and like Rage Against the Machine to a certain degree. Like I've always loved everything they've said, but the
Hmm.
sound, I just don't fuck with their sound. It's just not
Yeah.
a genre that I've ever really been into. But now it's kind of like I'm so pissed off with capitalism that I don't even care what the guitar's doing. I'm just like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. I'm
Oh,
just like,
oh,
it's crazy. When that
oh,
comes on, you're just like, yeah, dude. But I love what they're saying, but I love what my emo boys are doing
are
on the
doing.
on the guitars and the drums. So it kind of, I want to bring the two together. But yeah, I said I was never one of them. I love making the music I make. I love talking about the things around me and that kind of stuff. But this is the things around me now, and
Hmm.
so I've been roped in. They got me.
Oh gosh. They do. It's so, and it's so such a thing too, because Like I've always been someone like, and it's crazy when you bring up like how things are repeating. I just saw like a post, I think it was Carson Daly of like MTV, and he was like, this is what was going on. And then there was Carson Daly on TRL, and then we're repeating like everything to a T. Like it's like, oh my God, yeah, Carson Daly, you got to get back because like that's everything then. Like everything checks the box. And it's one of those things of like, it's wild that no matter how, okay, what, 2026 was 2001. And I'm just like, I just turned 40. Oh my God. And like, we are still, it's different, you know? And it's wild. And I wish more people like the pop punk and the emo, because I get so frustrated with, again, not everybody has to be, I even hate saying it's political because it's human rights stuff that's going on. There's so many stuff that's going on, and so many people are like, I don't want to get political. I don't want to do that. But I'm like, okay, all these bands I grew up seeing and like 2004 Warped Tour, where there was Rock Against Bush and all this stuff. Where is that
Mm.
energy now in 2026? And very few of these bands are even like making a post about it or anything. And I'm like, again, I get it. I also don't want to be performative either if they're just going to make the post to make the post. But it's like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? Like, much like you said with the whole boyfriend, like I'm like, if I hear one more like mid-30s guy in pop punk talk about his girls, or even worse, be Blink-182 in your 50s talking about doing stuff in the parking lot, then I'm like, you're 50. You are not doing this. I don't want this. And it's like I still love Blink, and someone's
Yeah.
gonna shade me for that, but I'm like, Tom, you're not doing that. You're not doing that in the parking lot anymore. Like, let's be real. Like
Nah, but that's the thing though, like it's on the table for them to give us something that we do want.
Yeah.
And I think it's just breaking down that wall of acceptance that I think we build up as artists. Like you either meet the most hubris filled artists who are just delusional and think they're the best thing in the world, or you meet the most like we're going beyond humble now and just like self-degrading kind of we never like I don't know, we were just very messed up people. But I honestly think that if Blink 182 came out with an album about how hard it is, like being a dad and like, or like, growing up and like trying, I want to hear a song about how hard it is to stay relevant in a scene where you were the big dogs 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to compete with all this, like, and I want to hear a song about how every single band that's picked up a guitar has tried to copy you, but they still can't match up to the original. Like, talk to me about that. There's so many insights, I think, that the bigger artists that shape the scene and that still shape the scene, I think they just fall into that trap of, well, I need to stay relevant and I need to give the people what they want from me. So, yeah, I'm going to still talk about, skating and drinking in the parking lot and,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. When it's like, no, but we can see you. Like, we know you've changed. So, like,
Yeah.
tell me about this new phase. And I think like yeah, I could have fallen into that trap and just done like because a lot of people loved like the wrestling stuff like on the last album, and it was that thing of like people like, oh mate, can you write a song about Bash at the Beach '96? I was like, what? Like I've not even
My
seen like
fiance would love that.
it's
He's a wrestling fan. My fiance would be if he heard that, he'd be like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Yes, do that." Like he would be all in on that. I know way too
that's
much.
it. I think it's yeah, I get it, and I get someone that's like making the music I do, but bringing in that wrestling connection. Like that's the thing, no one does it. Like even the wrestlers in bands don't really do that. But so I get it, and I'm not, people want more of that from me. And look, there is, but it's not. I don't want it. It's not like a gimmick, and it's not like a kind of thing that I've tried to shoehorn in. It's just been perfectly natural, and just when it comes up, it comes up. But it's the whole thing about being me and just staying true to my story. And I just wish more bands would do that. Again, not necessarily asking everyone to be political. I'm not being here being like, well, I make political songs now, so you should. It's absolutely not that. It's just be real. Tell me what's going around you in your world because you've got a microphone and a platform. So let's not talk about the news. I just want to know, like, from bands that used to tour all the time and it was just not a big deal, and now you're trying to do buy-ons and you need to give this cut to Live Nation or SJ and all this stuff, and it's like, tell me about that. Tell me about how you used to tour in a bus, but now you guys can only afford an ex-postal van. Like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about bands charging $50,000, $100,000 for smaller bands to open up for them, and like, or like, the smaller bands. Talk about that. Talk about like how there's five of you in the band and you're all trying to scrounge around $20,000 from somewhere to save up just so you can go on tour and like open up for some big arena band. Like these are the real struggles in life, and I know you're all going through it because every artist has like the same experience nowadays of just like there's all these people with like crazy content online, and now you're stepping into that arena and you can't match up. You need to be Superman, but luckily I'm Superman, so I
Okay.
can do it. I'm trying my best. I'm like, wait, we got this guy, we got the Sony A7 III holding my life together. Just I love my content. I love like the production that I'm doing and just the ideas and everything around it. But I've had to throw all this together to try and compete with people that they just write a check and this is all taken care of them. You know, this is all taken care of without them lifting a finger. Um, and it's yeah, and that's I talk about that kind of stuff, and because it's just real, and I don't know, no one else is talking about it, and I don't know why. We're all just scared. We're all just scared to be ourselves.
Yeah, and but being yourself, I always feel if you're being yourself, that is always the best thing because I found recently because a long time ago I was involved with these other creators and there was this little network and I for a while was like, man, you just want all of us creators to do the same thing, the same content, the same stuff. And so I left it because creatively I was like, this isn't working for me anymore, and it like just isn't. And there's other stuff there, but when I left and I was like just myself in front of my camera, like what is my strong suit? Talking music and being myself. And since then, my podcast has gotten like better and more of an audience. TikTok is finally like I can't believe like I'm finally over 500 people. It's like one of those
Hell
things
yeah.
of like I'm getting there and on YouTube finally doing video and like all right, I'm gonna put my face. It's like not the easiest thing, but put your face out there and just be yourself. Every time I'm myself, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting all these messages from people like, oh, I just subbed. I subbed immediately. I'm like,
Yeah.
and you're just yourself. And it's like, I think it's an artist too. I can't speak to the artist because I don't do that. But it's like, I think as a listener, if I can see someone, I'm like, they are 100% who they are. They are putting this into their music or their creativity, whatever they're doing. I'm in. If it's some person that I know that there is some script of something or whatever they're going, or they're trying to copy someone else's video or whatever it is, it's like, I'm not about that. I want something different. So like when you're in this genre and I hear Make Stacy Great Again and you hear that opening line of like your boyfriend's a racist, and I was like, okay, all right, like
So
let's
yeah, I'm
go.
listening. All
Like,
right.
okay, like give me more. Like, I can't wait till April 3rd. Like, how do you, and you touched on too, like some of the DMs and comments and things like that. But like, how do you also protect yourself in a way? Because you're going to be open to those comments, especially when it comes out, right? Fully.
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you protect? I mean, I know you can't because everyone that comes on here too, if it's like I ask a similar question ever with their art, it's like, well, you can't. You can't. It's out there. You can't really protect yourself. You're putting yourself out there. But like, how do you kind of at least a little bit be like, all right, I'm not going to let this get to me if I get this message or something.
Oh, it's just life. That
Yeah.
is it's kind of like a life mantra, whether it's on your phone or in person. I kind of just deal with it with the same attitude. Um, and it's very much a kind of the takeaway of the what's it, I'm spacing right now. Louis Theroux's new documentary. Have you seen it?
No.
The Manosphere one.
No, I've heard of it though.
It's really good. There are some criticisms, but my girlfriend and I watched it the other night, and I was thoroughly entertained by it because it's kind of what has shaped my mindset. So this documentary, he spends time with all of these like kind of right wing, pro capitalist, anti women, like what do they call it? Red pill, like
Hmm.
man influencer kind of people. And just TLDR of it is they're all just scared little boys. They are all just like they're all just clowns. Just they found the button that they could push to infuriate people in just the right way that they could make enough money and gain enough attention from little boys. Like their fan bases are like 12, 13, 14, which is very harmful, but that's what these men are. They have not grown up since school. um they never, like, it's the classic peaked in high school,
Hmm.
or they didn't, or they were just absolute like fucking losers in high school, and
Right, the
now they
same. Yeah.
found they found the way they can appeal to. Basically, here's what happened: they were like losers in high school, yeah, and then they've spent the rest of their teenage life and a little bit of their 20s kind of fixing all the kinks and being like, okay, this is how I could have been the coolest guy in high school. But the problem is now you're 30, like you missed it, bruv. But
Hmm.
they're like, no, I can still be the coolest guy in high school. So they've used the money and intelligence kind of that you have as an adult to make the perfect model for a teenage boy to be like, yeah, I want the Bugatti and the Rolex and the this and that. And they have that, but they have nothing else. And when you see through that, and when you kind of like, I look these people in the eye and I'm like, I don't know, I just see through you. I see everything that you're trying to say and do. And when you really kind of have that mindset, just everything just kind of brushes off you. I've had a lot of experiences recently, especially with everything that's going on in the world. People have different opinions and different takes on stuff. And I think for the longest time, the us sane people that have the ability to care about someone even if they don't look the same as us, or come from somewhere different, we still, hey, I care about you. I care that
Hmm.
you're being fed and watered and, this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like, apply that to whatever you want. Just someone that's different, they have a problem that's happening. Do you care about that? Yes, because they're a human being on this planet. For the longest time, we've been told that you shouldn't care about people and you need to think about yourself. And the
Hmm.
one important thing is growing your bank balance. Don't worry about the food that you're putting in your mouth, and don't worry about the media you're consuming. Just more greed, and it's, yeah, and that's been okay, and that's been good, and we've been told that if you have money, then we're going to listen to you and you're important.
Hmm.
But yeah, it took me a long time to realize that that was all bollocks, and it really is about how you treat people and about what you do to enrich not only yourself but the people around you, and that is actually what is important. And when I see people that go against that and just tell you to accumulate and fuck people over, because that's really the only way to become a billionaire in this world. You need to exploit. That is the one golden rule. It's
Hmm.
not about trading, it's not about saving. You need to exploit. You need to find a way to exploit a mass of people, and that is the only way you're going to accumulate that amount of wealth. And if you're okay with doing that, you're a shit person. I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah.
like, that's it. But we've been told that not only are you not a shit person, you're now above this guy
Hmm.
who just wants to smoke weed and ride his bike all day.
Yeah.
Like, he contributes nothing to society, so you're better than him. And yeah, when you package all of that up and look at these people in the eye, you're like, I don't need to listen to you. I don't care about anything you say or anything you're trying to push onto me. So to answer your question, whenever I get comments from people, I know they're angry. I know
Hmm.
they're frustrated with their lives. I know they're not having a good time right now. And honestly, it makes a lot of interactions so much better when you just see through people. It's quite wild actually, because I just really, I don't know, even just like day to day in real life, just my interactions with like angry people have just like dramatically changed when I don't. It doesn't touch me. It just doesn't enter my my
Hmm.
orbit, man. And you know, it helps online when you're releasing songs that like call out a specific sect of people. But what is also cool is that I'm not even part of the conversation anymore. Like I was scrolling through my like the recent TikToks I've uploaded because pro tip for any bands that are listening to this podcast, if you want to drive up your engagement, okay, it's kind of a shit tip because you need a viral video to begin with.
Right.
But if you are lucky enough to get a viral video, every video you now do for that next week is going to be a reply to the comments from that first video. So when people go back, it all feeds into that video that's already picking up traction. So virality is inconsequential. Do with it what you will, but whenever you have a video that's doing better than your other ones, just go and reply to the comments, but with a video, with a new TikTok. And that's what I've been doing. So I'm going through my comments, being like all the ones, being like, yeah, I relate to this, like this slaps, this is cool, like whatever. But TikTok does this weird thing where you have to go right down to the bottom, and it's got what they called like hidden posts or
Yes. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's so funny because then there were even more nice comments. There was someone commented like, "Oh, this guy's about to blow up," but they saw the word blow up, and so
Oh,
it's
right. Right.
like,
Right. People hit it.
and stuff like that. Yeah, or like just yeah, I can't remember a bunch of them, but anyway, once I went into that, and then there are all the ones. Where it was like, yeah, your boyfriend's a racist, and someone was like, hey, this sounds like a great guy, and like, and then basically it was like a whole like 5 or 6 comments of the typical ones you get under any slightly political post of some dickhead comes in and then people jump in and they're like chatting back at them, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, that's never happened in one of my videos before. I'm usually the one that has to like come in, say something sassy, but now people are doing it without me even knowing it's there now. So I'm like, rah, okay, they're connecting, that they're into it. We're saying something important.
Oh, that's a good little tip though, because you know what? Like for anyone listening or watching to try that and do that because but it is like I noticed that 9 times out of 10 people will like even on some silly video I made about like what is like a perfect 10 record and like it went like the most
Mm.
views, the most anything. I was like, what the hell is going on with this video? Like I don't understand. But people were arguing, and sometimes I would see like a mean comment and I'd have to go, I'm like, I know they didn't say that to me. And then I would look and they're arguing about whatever. I'm like, you guys are
Yeah,
arguing over a perfect 10 record that someone put like, I don't know, Lincoln Park or whatever it was. It's like, really? Like, what do you guys argue? But okay, I guess go off, do your thing. Like, that's whatever. And it is true about like people on the internet that like I view them too. Like, there was one guy, I forget what he said, but he said something to me. And right away, before I got like upset or in a way, whatever, because I think it was like, oh, this is the stupidest video ever, or something he said to me. And I was like, okay, like it's not like whatever. And I had to think like, man, he must be going through a hard time. He's probably
Mm.
like, and again, it's hard to like, not everybody views it that way, but I was like, this poor guy is probably like, what? It's 4 o'clock on a Friday. He's probably at work. He probably is has to go home and his life is not good if he's doing this to me and projecting this on me. And it's like, once I made
Mm.
that shift and I was like, because we all like, I'll never forget when I had Ian Shelton of Military Gun on, and he was talking about Thought You Were Waving, his song, and how we're all in this burning house. We're all in a burning house right now with everything. And it's just normalized, like that we're all struggling, we're
Mm.
all going through it, and we don't always see that we're all going through it. And I'm like, I just view life so differently now because I'm like, it does not, it's not okay if you're going to be racist, if you're going to do all these
Mm-hmm.
things, but I can at least be like, this person is coming at me angry or on the internet posting this angry rant about, yeah, it's because like even me, like I can't, healthcare is through the roof. Life in general, we're starting to, we have Donald Trump as president. Like, come on, that alone, like just him. And then it's everybody else that is okay with it and enables that, you know? And it's like we're in these positions and now all of us normal Americans and throughout the world, not even just America, throughout the world are suffering because of just so much stuff that like I can't believe again in 2026 we're worrying about still. And there's nothing. And it's like everyone's just angry at each other. So it's like when I heard you putting out this song, I was like, I'm glad someone has the balls to come out here and say this, especially in this genre. And especially in a time where people are afraid to speak up, you know, even I
Mm.
made a post once like about the podcast and like this is who we are, this is what we're okay with. And there were a lot of positives, but there were a couple people that were like, I listen to your show because I listen to your show. I don't listen to your show for your political takes, for your this and that. And I'm like,
Mm.
these aren't, again, these aren't political takes. These are human rights takes. These are just life. Like, okay, like let's back up a minute. You know, it's not that serious. And this guy was just like, yeah, well, that's not why I'm here. I'm not here for your take on this. But I'm like, okay, then I guess see ya. I don't know. Like this is talk to anybody else in life right now. This is what's going on around us and part of our lives. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Well, I think you called him out. I think he felt something.
Yeah.
You called him out, and it touched him there. So and people don't like that. People
No.
don't like to be confronted with who they are. And I think back on it, and dude, I've been in bands forever, and it's always been with four other white dudes who don't want to talk about the stuff I want to talk about.
Mhm.
And it's, yeah, there's been times where, like, I've wanted to speak on stuff or I've wanted to voice an opinion, but it's not the opinion of the band. It's not the opinion of everyone, or, so we don't talk about this and we don't get, we don't get involved in that kind of stuff. And there's a very cool quote from this series that I'm obsessed with. It is the story of like OJ Simpson's trial. They did like a not Netflix, but one of them TV people did it,
Yeah.
and it's really good. And it's like a perfect snapshot of that cycle that we talked about of like, because that was like early 90s, and it was like, oh, okay, we're doing the same things today. This is where it all, that like LA racial tension all kind of came from, and it gives you a very good insight to it. I've seen that series so many times. But the really good quote from it is Christopher Darden, the lawyer that they got to prosecute OJ Simpson. He was a black lawyer in the team, because it was a murder trial. It was a murder case, but their only way to defend against it was to bring in race and to kind of take the trial down that road. And yeah, Christopher Darden in the series, I don't know if he says this in real life, but he was basically the guy that found the glove that OJ had to try on. he was a full-on Nazi, like next level, like neo-Nazi. What's his name? Mark Furman. And he was like, don't make him testify because like we should not use a Nazi to give evidence. Like that's not going to look
Mhm.
good. And they were like, it's fine. We don't care about that. It's just about the facts and da da da. And they didn't listen to him, and that's how he ended up getting off.
Mm.
There were more things in the story, but that
Sure.
was one of the things that contributed to it. But anyway, to round off my point, he says a very interesting quote, and you wanted a black face, but you never wanted a black voice. You wanted my face to show that, yeah, this isn't about race because look, we have a black lawyer prosecuting him, so it can't be about race. But they didn't care about his opinion as a black man, his thoughts as a black man, who knew the community, who knew how people were going to react. And they said, if you put a Nazi up there and say that he's with us, we've lost this trial. It's over. And they didn't listen to him. And I think that's how I felt a lot, where people want to promote me as a black artist and this and that. But the minute you step outside the box and actually talk about black issues or highlight anything to do outside of this tiny little emo bubble, it's like, oh man, like I didn't follow you for that, dude. Like, like the kind of comments you were getting and stuff is
Yeah.
like, I just came here for bangers, kind of
Mhm.
shit. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, you were fine to be like, yeah, I listen to all types. I listen to this black pop punk artist. Yeah, yeah, cool. But yeah, the minute we start talking about actual real shit, that's when you dip. It's like, okay. So you were cool with a black face, but you didn't want a black voice. And I think female artists suffer that a lot as well. When they're like, yeah, female fronted artists, dude. Like, I listen to them all. And then it's like, as soon as they're like, "Hey, Happy International Women's Day," it's like, "Where's Happy International Men's Day, bro? Like, why are
Mhm.
you talking?" It's like, all right, cool. So that's yeah, it's just weak. It's weak.
Oh, yeah. No, but that's so true. And it's like I you see that. You see that where people I even see it with little bit like if oh gosh, that band, I think it's the Paradox. Um
Yes.
and I see them and I'm like I can't imagine if they made a post about anything. I haven't seen them, but if they've ever made a post about something, somebody would immediately be like, "Oh no, this isn't why, we like what you produce with Travis Barker. We like this, we like that. Why aren't you, I constantly think about um people in the scene that want to speak up and that people it's just perfectly what you said even about International Women's Day. Like everybody is fine with that. Oh, we love like Spirit Box, we love this, but the minute they use that voice, um there's always people in the comments. There's always people saying, no, 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 do this, not that way. Be that, but not that way. And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
way do you want to be? And it's like, I can't imagine if I was putting out music. I mean, I get it a little bit on my end, nothing crazy, but I can't imagine if I'm doing that and having those people. But at the end of the day, too, like they are at least feeding the algorithm a little bit to be like, hey, all right, I come to this. But sometimes it's like, it's so hard that balance of like not biting back a little bit. Like, do I engage? What do I do with this person? And then again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about realizing that everyone's going through it. Everyone's try and put myself, but again, I'm at least like, again, I'll be real on here. Someone that looks like myself, the worst I'm going to get is, okay, you're a dumb woman or something. I don't get some of the most hateful comments that are out there. And I always acknowledge that. Like someone that looks like myself, like we're not going to get what's being thrown out there. The worst they can say to me is like, okay, like maybe you're ugly or something. You know what I mean? Like they'll say something, but not the deep rooted, just racist, bigoted things that are out there today, which it's like,
Yeah,
ugh,
I think it all comes from the same place though. It
yeah.
all just comes from that same place of uh just I think a lot of it is ignorance because I feel like a lot of it can be unlearned, but I think there's pain at the root of it and a lot of sorrow, and it's just very like I think even just the energy to muster up and whether you're saying that to someone or whether you're typing it out. I think typing it out is even sadder because when you actually imagine the room that they're in, and dude, like the situation that I'm in, like, okay, here is another life hack for any of like the younger artists or just creators that are out there. If you're doing the type of shit I'm doing, you're getting these comments. The best thing you can do is put yourself in the most cruisy position when you're having your little social media, you're replying to people. So I'll go out in the garden. It's currently like, it's actually today's a bit of a bad day. It's like 20-ish degrees, but I'm so bad at Fahrenheit, but like it's like around 100-ish usually on like a nice cruisy day. I'll sit in the garden, we'll light one up, and we'll have some food or something. We'll just be like, and someone calls me the N word or whatever, and I'm like, we're in a nice cruisy place because I'm imagining what they're doing. If you want to type that out to me, you're probably sitting in your pants in your mum's basement. It smells like Cheetos and Monster Energy, and it's like you're not in my environment, bro. Like you're not in my vibe, or like we'll be at the beach, or we'll just be out, or just generally just having a good time, or I just even outside of that, I just look at what's around me and like what I'm doing on that particular day, and I'm like, every day I'm just being me, creating, having a good time, and people are responding to it, and people are vibing it. And so if you want to be coming at me like this, like I just feel sorry for you. Like I'm so sorry that your situation is not like mine and you're not in the space that I'm in, and that's infuriated you enough to to give me hate on the internet. Like that's
Yeah.
wild. Like that's so wild. Like when I think about my interactions on the internet, it's always been like I've just heard like the coolest voice or just seen like someone do something really cool, and I've just gone, oh, I need to comment this. I need to tell them how sick they are, how talented they
Mhm.
are, how smart they are. But you don't have that. You don't have that like I guess is it love? Is it admiration? Like you don't even have that energy in you. All yours is like this low vibration, negative energy. That's the only thing you're putting out is just hate. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Like you even see it with people like if you just go on the street and just ask people, be like, "Oh, dude, like, what's your favorite ice cream?" Most people would be like, "Oh, I love vanilla, I love chocolate." They'll
Yeah.
be like, "Do you know what? I hate blueberry. I hate strawberry. Oh, do you know what? I had Ben and Jerry's the other day. That sucked." And it's like, I asked you what you liked, like, and
Mhm.
you don't even have the energy to give me that. You're only telling me like what you don't like. And I think that's the same on the internet. Like, no one's on their phone 24/7, although they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But we have a finite amount of time on these really cool things, and I'm spending my time watching cute shit, watching wrestling, watching F1, watching whatever, enjoying myself, getting my endorphins, and you're there just calling
Mhm.
people names. Like it's shit, man. It's rubbish. So yeah, I just don't take it on board, but there's just sort of like a quiet sorrow for the people that want to give that because it's so sad. Look how much fun we have. Look how much fun we have just vibing and just talking
Mhm.
about the music we love and that. And you have to imagine these people don't have that. Because if
Mhm.
they did, they'd be busy talking about that. Someone has never gone, "Hey, I see that thing you did," or, "Oh, I saw that thing you said. That was really cool. I like that. Say more of that." No, they've always been told to shut up or stop saying that, don't do this. And that's their life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it's helped my perspective in that. But then again, it's made me really, really sad. This is where we're at. Like this isn't cool. That's not good. But like that's why again, like make Stacy great again. We got it. It's like the song so far. I'm like, I know we are early in 2026, but I'm like, this one, the minute it comes out, I'm gonna be like, let's crank that up. It is so like I can't wait for like that song to come out. Like leading up to that, like April 3rd, obviously, but like creating this song, like do you think like in regards to like songwriting and everything is like a catharsis? Like clearly like you've already talked about it a little bit, but like this creating this song, having this one be your first one in such a while, um, it
Mm.
allowed you to really process these things in a different way that make again, maybe you just can't chat with someone with, but like it allowed you to really process these emotions you're having about the world we live in such a different way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But before I say anything, I just want to
Yeah.
give you your flowers as an
Oh,
interviewer because, mate, you've been crushing it. I, like, tell your fiance this afterwards as well. There's a really cool interview with Paul Heyman where I can't remember what wrestler he's talking about,
yeah.
but he does like a whole promo. He goes out there like he thinks he's crushed it. It was like when Paul Heyman was like young,
Yeah.
and he's always been great on the microphone. And he's like, yeah, this is it. And he's like, did the best wrestling promo. And then he came back, and the wrestler was like, you didn't mention what date the pay per view was on. You didn't sell the main event. You didn't talk about nothing.
Mhm.
You just went on your own little tangent. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm having a great time talking about this. But every time you brought it back to April 3rd, make Stacy great again. And I'm just like, so I need to give you your flowers because that is it's a very good technique that a lot of us like who are good talkers needs to remember. And it's like, just we've got to let them know when it's coming and what's coming. And so I thank you for that. So
Oh,
thank you for
he'll be
keeping the
like,
interview
see,
on track.
I'll be like, see, listen, listen, I got my flowers in here. He's in the other room. He always says I talk too much. He's always like, oh, like today he's like, you talk too much. I'm like, you know what? Get over here. You're with me for how many years? 11 years. We're 11 years strong here. All right, you knew
Hell
that.
yeah. Oh yeah. He's heard it all. He's heard it
Oh,
all.
he's heard it all.
But
He knows everything.
But it just reminded me of a very cool Paul Heyman
Yeah.
tip that I learned a while back of just, hey, remember to plug the date. Remember
Yes.
that.
Yes.
But yeah, to answer your question, it was actually, look, you have been my fave podcast for a while, so I can't do you dirty and not give you also the exclusive that I gave to. I was on another podcast the other day, the Chronicles of. It was we had a very good chat,
Yeah.
and they asked me something similar. They were like, "When did the all Stacy come together, and how did you do that?" So I played them the original voice note of when the germ of the idea came together. So I need to find that for you as well
Yeah.
and play that. So we are looking at. Oh, is this 10th of January 2025?
Oh, wow.
Where are we?
Your boyfriend's a racist. He would have voted for Trump if you lived in the States. Yeah, you don't wanna say it, but you finally ran out of reasons to stay.
So that's where it started. Your boyfriend's a
Um,
racist. You would have
oh,
voted for Trump if you lived in the States.
oh my God. Just
And
let's
it
get the applause. Let's get the applause. Yeah, that is, oh my God. I love hearing that because like that's where that came from, right? And then what we're about to hear, right? And then like what we hear in the clips right now, it's like that's just so cool to be able to look at that voice note you had in 2025. We're in 2026 and now it's come together.
Oh yeah. So there was that, and for the longest time it was just that.
Hmm.
And my whole voice notes folder is just full of just half ideas and just little things. And one of the things that I'm trying to introduce and kind of normalize is a lot of things I've grown up with in like black culture and a lot of black music where a lot of homage is paid to other people and just like the whole linking it back to Stacey's mum. It's sort
Hmm.
of like a throwback because a lot of hip hop is rooted in sampling. And so you sample the song, you use a bit of the original, and like I've not sampled anything from Fountains of Wayne, but even just the callback, it's just rooted in that kind of homage paying. And then just the concept of like having bars, like when rappers talk about like, oh bro, that was a bar, or like just having like lyrics that are important. Like, yes, that was a massive hip hop thing, but also that I'm chasing that MSN Messenger screen name status. Like when you just, I want someone to vague tweet my lyrics and just like, you need to
Yes.
have the bars to do that. So in chasing that, I've just got a bunch of them that don't mean anything yet, but when I sit down and lock in, then we build a story around it. So again, just looking around me, looking at the world and experiencing the world, I was like, oh yeah, that voice note I had about the racist boyfriend. Kind of just, mate, I can't even remember a lot of the songwriting journey, which is why I'm so happy I filmed so much of it. I have so many just like clips and Instagram lives that I've just recorded of it's just me just figuring it out in real time. And I wish I could remember the moment of when it turned into Stacy, but I can't. I ain't got that for you. That was just a wild stray moment at 4 a.m. probably. But that got rushed to the straight of the queue. That got rushed to the front of the queue pretty quickly, because there were so many songs that I say so many. There's like 10. There's like
Yeah.
there's an album's worth of songs that I've written in my like time away. That I was gassed on, I've been sending to people, they've been digging it, they've been like, yes, this is new Walwin, this is the vibe. And still like the same ethos that I've said to you about how I'm just unhappy with how punk is portrayed nowadays, and I wanted to be someone to do something about that. And the songs on the rest of the songs in the album are 100% that. But then I think as soon as I started writing Make Stacy Great Again, I was like, oh, okay, this is the full stop. This is the like exclamation mark on the thing to be like, nah, okay, this is what we're doing. So that just got jumped to the front of the queue, and I was like, I'm very cautious about was it over promising and under delivering. I think that's the worst thing. The best thing you can do as an artist is under promise and over deliver. That's also another pro wrestling trope as well. You don't give them much, but then you give them the whole big sell. So I said to my manager, there's a guy called Chris in the UK. He's just been awesome, just like being that guy just to bounce stuff off of, and just like I just send him everything I do, and I'm like, what do you think about this? And he's like, it slaps, like, let's go. So he's been a really positive influence. But we were just talking about like, yeah, we want to just drop something just to let people know like we're back now. And there were a few songs that could have been, but then I was like, I love it because he just gets all my unhinged voice notes. And I was like, mate, I've written this song. It's called Make Stacy Great Again. Give me 3 days and I'll have it on your desk. Like, I would like just get, and he was just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So then in 3 days, I gave him the final mix, the cover art, and we also shot the music video as well. Like, just went on, just absolutely just like flipped out on just one weekend. Me, my girlfriend, one of my mates, we just shot like the whole thing on the beach in our home. All of my lovely little Sony baby, which I wanted to hook up for this because I see you've got your crispy mic, and I was like, yeah, my quality is gonna be on par, but I can't get it. I'm too much of a boomer to get the.
Oh, it's a blessing I figured this all out. Like, so don't. I am that person of like, my fiance always laughs at me because I'm trying to learn how to use like my new coffee machine. I'm like, it's too hard. I can't do this. And he's like, you do a podcast. You learned how to do a mic and audio and edit and this. I'm like, No, that's what I know. Everything else, I'm like,
Yeah,
what am I
yeah.
doing? I don't know what
I
I'm
have my
doing.
lane, and then it tops out.
Yes.
But yeah, somehow I've managed to cut it all together. Music videos looking crazy, and yeah, it was just a whole process of just didn't it just came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and we're just vibing with the planet, and I don't know, I'm just seeing shit around me, dude. I'm just responding to it. And just seeing like, and it's been great. It's been great just seeing people receive it. But this was not calculated or like preconceived or anything. It was just this song just hit me. I was like, oh, okay, this needs to
Yeah.
come out. This needs to be like a vibe. Like, so here we are, and then we are just under three
Oh.
weeks from it coming out. So I feel like, look, being real, I feel like I overshot it slightly. And I was like, usual industry advice is 6 weeks before release is when you
Hmm.
start distribution, promotion, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't expect it to go so well so quickly. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
usually struggle for the first 3 weeks to like figure out the content and try and get some traction on that. But it was literally like the first video I put on TikTok. Like that one's still just popping off. So I'm like, so now every day, all the comments I'm getting are like, when is this out? When is
Yeah.
this coming? So mate, I'm just trying to hammer on the pre-saves. I'm just trying to get that going. Because Spotify is a tricky one. You need to know the right people, and I
Hmm.
don't know the right people anymore. Because I'm doing it by myself. I don't have my label, so I'm just like, we're just putting this one out as just like, hey, who's gonna jump on this project and help us like elevate this? But yeah, hopefully there's just enough pre-saves to kind of like make some noise and just like get it out there, because I just want to have fun. I just want people, like, the more people that are, it's not even about like, fans and followers and stuff. I'm just like, oh, okay, so you're locked in for the journey. That's all
Hmm.
it is. Like, the more stories that come out, like, we've already got you, like, you're already listening. So yeah, we're just trying to build them connections, but I kind of maybe started too early. But yeah, we got another 3 weeks of promotion and stuff. I'm kind of thinking, you mentioned Carson Daly earlier and TRL, and I really want to drop the music video before April 3rd, because that's how it used to be. Like, you used to
Hmm.
watch the music video on MTV, and then like a few weeks later you'd go out and like buy the single. So I kind of want to do it. I just don't know where or how to do that. But I don't know. We might see the Make Stacy Great Again music video come out.
Oh.
If I find the right platform for it, we'll do
Oh.
that.
Let's hope. Let's like anyone again. Like I'm gonna try and get this out. So April 3rd is what? Is that a Friday? Is that a Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make sure
I
this
still just
one.
followed the traditional like Friday release
I'm like
thing because I don't know what I'm doing.
oh no. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't know. So like, so what I'll do is I'll make sure this comes out maybe the week of to lead, do my part to lead people. But this has just been, oh my gosh, so great. Like I knew like even today, I woke up, I was having one of those days, but I'm like at 8 o'clock. We're gonna hop on. I haven't recorded in so long, so I'm like, oh my God, let me hook everything up. Let me get this going. But this has just been so
Yeah.
wonderful, and I'm so excited to one get this out there and then again music video hopefully soon, but like 3 weeks, that's wild to think about. We're gonna have this and I can't wait to help get it out there. And again, you were like one of my favorite people.
No, thank you. Thank you. And wait, I need to give you one more bit of thanks.
Yeah.
And because of that theme tune, I feel like that then gave me the confidence in the theme tune world to reach out to some more people. And it resulted in me getting Danny Luna from TNA's entrance music. So now Thursday nights, TNA Pro Wrestling, You can hear, and she's blowing up. Like Danny
Oh
Luna.
my God.
I think she's gonna be world champion in the next few months. I'm calling it now. Like she's crushing it in the TNA women's division. So yeah, because of you guys, I was like, yeah, dude, I can write music. I can. I knew I could write music, but I just know I could write
Yes.
music like for like an intro, a theme, and yeah, I was honestly, it was just a stab in the dark one day. She's been a follower of mine for a while and a fan of the music. And I was like, hey, I don't know if you need any new entrance music or anything. And she was like, actually, I do. They've asked me for like some new. She was having a push, like title chasing, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, new gimmick, new character, new music. So I was able to jump in. I've got my TNA contract. Like, it's actually insane. So I'm
Oh
like,
my
cool.
God.
I signed the pro wrestling contract because you gave me the confidence to get my entrance music skills out there.